Good evening and welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye D'Souza. Let's get straight to our first story. The Allahabad High Court has said the Election Commission, the higher courts and the government failed to fathom the disastrous consequences of permitting the elections of a few states and panchayat elections in Uttar Pradesh. The Allahabad High Court has also said the Uttar Pradesh government is having a very tough time in controlling the spread of COVID-19 in urban areas, and it would be very difficult to conduct tests, detect and treat the village population found suffering from the infection. The state lacks preparation and resources for the same at present, the court said. The Allahabad High Court has also directed the Uttar Pradesh government to form a 3-member public grievance committee in every district so people can directly approach this committee and get their complaints regarding COVID registered and examined, and viral news regarding COVID management can be looked into. It said the grievance committee should include a chief judicial magistrate, a professor of a medical college, and an administrative officer. The Allahabad High Court also instructed the central government to come up with a plan in the next 5 days as to how it will get people in the 18 to 44 category vaccinated if they don't have access to the internet and they aren't able to register on the CoWIN portal or the app. Uttar Pradesh so far has reported 20,000 cases per day and 301 deaths in the last 24 hours that we know of, according to government data. The Karnataka High Court has directed the state government to form an action plan within 2 weeks to deal with a possible third wave of COVID. The bench said, and I quote, "Though during the last few days we've dealt with immediate measures to deal with the enormous challenge posed by COVID, it is high time the state government starts preparing for a third wave," end quote. The court also noted that the situation in Bengaluru is critical, with over 15,000 cases being reported in the capital city every day. Karnataka has reported now 39,305 cases, 596 deaths over the last 24 hours. It's among the worst affected states of COVID. The Indian government has taken umbrage and opposed the labeling of the B1617 COVID variant as the Indian variant, saying that the word Indian was never used by the WHO in its report. The WHO also has stressed that variants should not be identified by the names of the countries of their origin. This comes after several media reports had deemed the B1617 COVID variant as the Indian variant. Now, the official statement by the Health Ministry has said that several media reports covered the news of the WHO classifying this variant as a global concern. Some reports have termed this variant of coronavirus as the Indian variant. These media reports are without any basis and are unfounded. Following Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Odisha's steps of procuring vaccines globally, the state of Delhi, along with several other South Indian states, have decided to do the same. Now, this comes after several states have reported severe shortages of vaccines. The central government till date has provided states and union territories with 18 crore free vaccine doses. But there are widespread shortages after the vaccine was opened up to the age group of 18 to 44. In Karnataka, the Deputy Chief Minister Ashwath Narayan has said, and I quote, "Till now we had depended only on vaccines supplied by the centre. Now we have been instructed to float the tender and complete the process within 7 days." The Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia has said the centre is forcing state governments to invite global tenders. Now, this is the first time the states have actually come out and said that this was an instruction from the central government. Maharashtra, which had already decided to float global tenders, has made an announcement just this evening that vaccinations for the age group of 18 to 44 have been suspended temporarily because of the shortage of vaccinations. All doses purchased by the state government will now be diverted to the 45 plus age group so that they can get their second dose. This is an announcement by the Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope after a cabinet meeting. The Ministry of Science and Technology has said the production capacity of Bharat Biotech's Covaxin will be doubled by May or June this year. It is expected to reach nearly 10 crore doses per month by September this year. Delhi, in the meantime, has run out of Covaxin stock for its 18 to 44 age group. Aam Aadmi Party leader Atishi Marlena tweeted that because of a lack of availability of Covaxin, 125 vaccination sites will be shut starting today. Earlier this week, the centre informed the Supreme Court that production capacity of Covaxin was increased from 90 lakh per month to 2 crore doses this month. It also said Serum Institute of India had ramped up its production of Covishield from 5 crore doses per month to 6.5 crore doses per month. Following several reports of people using cow dung and cow urine with the belief that it will prevent COVID, doctors and experts have now warned against the practice, saying that there is no scientific evidence whatsoever. On contrary, it risks spreading other diseases. Now, in a bid to boost their immunity and prevent COVID, several people, specifically in videos that have emerged from the state of Gujarat, have been going to cow shelters once a week and covering their bodies with cow dung and cow urine. Speaking to NDTV, the national president of the Indian Medical Association, Dr. J.A. Jayalal, has said, and I quote, "There is no concrete scientific evidence that cow dung or cow urine work to boost immunity against COVID. It is based entirely on belief. There are health risks involved in smearing or consuming these products, and other diseases can spread from animals to humans," end quote. The Indian Council for Medical Research, the ICMR Director General Dr. Balram Bhargava, has said the second wave of COVID-19 is impacting more younger people in India because they have started going out. Another reason, he said, could be because there are other variants right now in the country. Remember, India has reported 3.4 lakh new COVID cases in the last 24 hours, which is a dip from the earlier 4 lakh cases we were reporting. But the number of deaths are still shockingly high at 4,205 deaths in one day. Before we go any further, I do have to give our audience a very strong trigger warning on the information that is going to come after this. If you are experiencing any anxiety or depression or distress, I would recommend that you do not watch this video any further. At least 96 unidentified bodies, many of which are decomposed and bloated, have been found floating in the Ganga over the last couple of days. This has triggered fears among local residents in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh that the bodies of COVID victims are being dumped in the river. 71 bodies were discovered in Bihar's Buxar district, floated onto the banks of the Ganga. At least 25 bodies have been found in neighboring Uttar Pradesh's Ghazipur district. According to some locals, bodies are being thrown into the river by ambulance drivers, both in Uttar Pradesh and in Bihar. This is according to a report at NDTV. Some believe that this might have also been done because of a shortage of wood required for cremation. So family members have just immersed the bodies in the river instead. The bodies, of course, eventually float to the surface. Following deaths of 26 people in Goa's medical college and hospital due to an alleged shortage of oxygen, Goa's health minister Vishwajit Rane called for a High Court probe. On the same day, Goa reported 75 deaths, the highest single-day spike reported by the state. Goa's Chief Minister Pramod Sawant visited the COVID ward and held a meeting in the evening with hospital officials, after which he said a delay in oxygen supply may have led to a drop in pressure, and that would have led to a drop in pressure in central supply of oxygen in the hospital, adding that it cannot be said that is the reason for the deaths. Following this, the health minister said the chief minister might have been misguided. According to the Indian Express, Health Minister Vishwajit Rane has said, and I quote, "Let the High Court order an inquiry into the entire COVID management of the hospital. I have no problem because my conscience is clear. I think someone has misguided the Chief Minister or has misinterpreted something," end quote. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has said the centre and the state government of Uttar Pradesh are doing everything possible to tackle the COVID crisis. He has said, and I quote, "The speed displayed by the Uttar Pradesh government in tackling the COVID cases should be praised. Mistakes can be committed by anyone. Only a person who performs will commit mistakes. This is not the time for criticism. If anyone spots any loophole and offers suggestions, the state government will welcome it. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has accepted this pandemic as a challenge, and the government is doing everything possible to tackle the challenge," end quote. He also said, You may or may not have seen today's news. The WHO has praised the work of Uttar Pradesh government. It is not a small thing. In a tweet on Monday, the WHO had said, and I quote, India's most populous state, Uttar Pradesh, the state government has initiated house-to-house active case finding of COVID-19 in rural areas to contain transmission by testing people with symptoms of rapid isolation, disease management, and contact tracing. End quote. Maharashtra's Health Minister Rajesh Tope has said that there are over 2,000 cases of mucormycosis or black fungus in the state right now. He said 8 people in Maharashtra have died due to the infection, adding that the state government is creating special wards for mucormycosis patients. This comes after the state had announced free treatment for anyone who had developed the disease. Now, mucormycosis is a rare fungal infection that is found in COVID patients, specifically those who have high diabetes and who are on strong immunosuppressant steroids. Now, it can be treated with antifungals and in some cases may require surgery, but if not treated on time, then it can also be fatal. Moving on to other news now away from COVID. Sachin, the cop who was the main accused in the Antilia bomb scare and the Mansukhi Rain murder case, has been fired by the Mumbai police or dismissed by the Mumbai police. Vaze is currently in judicial custody in Mumbai. Vaze was arrested for his alleged role in planting an explosives-laden car outside Mukesh Ambani's Antilia home in Mumbai. He was also accused of murdering the owner of the car in question. Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has written a letter to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Rajnath regarding the Maratha quota in government jobs and education. Uddhav Thackeray also met Governor Singh on Tuesday to submit a letter addressed to the President. This comes after the Supreme Court squashed the Maratha quota because it exceeded the total quota allowed of 50%. Looking now at news coming in from the world of business and economy. According to a report by the Center for Monitoring the Indian Economy, or CMIE, urban unemployment in India is nearing 12%. This is the highest it has been in the last 10 months because obviously of new lockdowns and the resurgence of COVID. Urban unemployment was 11.72% in the week ended May 9th and 9.5% in the week before that. Similarly, national unemployment of the whole country was close to 8.6%. Rural unemployment has gone up as well from 6.3 to 7.2%. All of these numbers are fairly worrying because it's really the people who are not in formal jobs that suffer the most, and they don't have any benefits or savings to be able to tide over this very difficult period. Petrol and diesel prices have been hiked for the 3rd straight day and for the 7th time this month. Remember, we are on the 12th of May and petrol prices have been hiked 7 times in the last 12 days. In Bhopal, the price of petrol has crossed 100 rupees per litre for the first time ever. Totally this month, the price has gone up for petrol by 1 rupee and 65 paise and 1 rupee and 88 paise on diesel in New Delhi specifically. Delhi is currently paying 92 rupees and 5 paise per litre of petrol and 82 rupees and 61 paise per litre of diesel. In Mumbai, petrol is at 98 rupees and 36 paise. Now, I just have to remind you that as of 2 days ago, on the crude oil prices, the price of petrol per litre is actually 31 rupees and 25 paise. Everything else after that, from 31 rupees to 92 or 98 rupees, is all state and central taxes. News coming in right now from the rest of the world. A deadly exchange of fire between Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and Israel has escalated significantly, with the UN now fearing a full-scale war. Over 1,000 rockets have apparently been fired by Palestine in the last 38 hours. Israel has carried out hundreds of airstrikes, destroying 2 tower blocks in Gaza on Tuesday and Wednesday. At least 53 Palestinians and 6 Israelis have been killed since Monday, and that includes 14 Palestinian children. Brazil has suspended the use of Oxford AstraZeneca's vaccine on pregnant women after a pregnant woman in Rio de Janeiro died from suffering a stroke following her vaccination. The suspension was enacted as a precautionary measure after the health regulator issued a warning about the vaccine's use on pregnant women. Authorities are investigating the incident. A quick note for our Indian viewers: the Indian government has not advised that pregnant women get vaccinated in India at all. On to sports news. The sports minister, Kiran Rijiju, has cautioned Indian sportspersons against breaking COVID protocols in foreign countries while traveling there for training or for competitions. While wishing the Olympic-bound shooters a successful trip in Croatia, Mr. Rijiju tweeted, "Safe journey, never break COVID protocols in other countries, focus on training and take care. We'll provide all necessary support to our athletes and coaches." This comes after the Maldives sports minister asked Bengaluru FC to leave the country because they were seen flouting COVID protocol. One piece of positive news before we leave you for the day: Indian origin global nutrition expert Dr. Shakuntala Tilset has won the prestigious 2021 World Food Prize for her groundbreaking research on holistic nutrition-sensitive approaches to food systems. Now, her research included a small native fish species in Bangladesh, which she figured out can be raised locally and inexpensively and can be eaten by the locals to boost their nutrition. Now, while praising her research, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said millions of low-income families across countries like Bangladesh, Cambodia, India, Nepal, Zambia, Malawi are eating this small fish regularly, dried or fresh, in everything from chutneys to porridge, and it's giving children and breastfeeding mothers key nutrients that will protect their children for a lifetime. That brings us to the end of the news for today. Remember, stay home, stay safe. Leave us a suggestion on how we can improve this broadcast for you. Thank you so much for watching.